Hey guys! Today I'm going to be doing the Goodreads tag. This is a fairly old tag and I've been meaning to do it for a while, but there was just a lot of videos that I wanted to do before this one. But I'm happy to be doing it now, so let's go ahead and jump into these questions. Question 1. What was the last book you marked as read? Sadly, that was P.S. I Like You by Cassie West. Not sadly as in I didn't like this book. I really did enjoy this book. But it has been so long since I finished a book. At the time of recording this, I haven't even finished my first book for the month of March. And that is so unlike me. And it's kind of causing a lot of anxiety for me because I'm not used to not reading at least 4 books a month. And to say this is the last book I read, which was at the end of February, but hopefully I'll have a lot of time to read more books once I am done with school and my aunt's done with her surgery, and I can only hope. Because that's my biggest obstacle right now, is just to have the time to read. Question 2. What are you currently reading? I'm currently reading The Ugly Teapot by Fred Holmes. And I was actually sent an arc of this book in ebook form by the author himself. I'm not sure if the book is actually going to be physically printed or not. And so far, I have no clue what's happening in that book. I'm not very far in. I think I'm only on like chapter 12, which is not very far into the book at all. It's like 92 pages in. I don't know what's going on. I mean, is it any of this actually happening? Or is it a dream? Or what the hell? I mean, it's considered a middle grade series, and it's also I guess an Aladdin retelling, and it's so odd, but it's also kind of addicting, as in I don't want to stop reading it. I don't know, I plan on doing a review video for it if I ever get it finished, which has to be this month because it comes out March 30th. Question 3. The last book you marked as to be read. The last book I marked as read was Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens by Becky Albertalli. I hope I said that right. But I marked this book as to be read after I finished reading Forgive Me Leonard Peacock, and I was looking for books that were similar to that book, and Simon vs. the Homo Sapien popped up, and I was like, I've heard a lot of good things about this book. I don't have a physical copy of it, but I hope to be getting one soon. Question 4. What book do you plan on reading next? Truthfully, I set myself a TBR of 5 to 6 books each month. This month looking like the only month I'm not going to complete that TBR. But I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to read after The Ugly Teapot. I may pick up the Blackbird duology because right now I can't stop thinking about it and its mysterious plot. But I may also go for something easier, like a contemporary, The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I loved the previous books I read of hers, and I believe this is a contemporary. I've heard several people say it is, but you know, I don't think Jennifer L. Armentrout's ever written a contemporary. At least not that one that I like physically own. So I may go with this because it hopefully would be an easier read. I really don't know what I plan on reading next. It's just really whatever mood the ending of The Ugly Teapot puts me in. Question 5. Do you use the star rating system? And yes, I do. Not because I particularly like the star rating system. I feel like it'd be more accurate if they did like half stars, but I do feel it is important to rate the books you read if you don't plan to review them, which I try to do both, but if I can't think of anything to say for a book, I will rate it at least. Question 6. Are you doing a 2017 reading challenge? And I just started doing reading challenges in 2015, which I think is when I first joined Goodreads. But yes, I am definitely doing a reading challenge for this year. I plan on reading 70 books, and I'm a little bit behind because of school and work and life in general, but I'm not going to lower my reading challenge because I think that even if I don't have a lot of time to read during the summer because of work, this is my last semester of school, so I should have a lot of time after summer to do a lot of reading. So hopefully I'll get to catch up really quick. Question 7. Do you have a wish list? not exactly sure what this has to do with Goodreads. I mean, is there a wish list on Goodreads that I don't know about? Regardless, I do have a wish list, and it's on booksamillion.com, and I'm not exactly sure if anyone besides me can view that, but I have like 70 books on my wish list at the moment. But this is more or less just for me to keep track of which books I actually want to buy, more than I actually use it as a guide for people to get me gifts. Question 8, what book do you plan on buying next? And I'll actually pull up my Books A Million page. I currently have 5 books in my shopping cart. I have Kokoro's Basketball Volume 4, which is a manga series that I love. I have Haikyuu Volume 6, another manga series I love. Then I have From Percy Jackson, and it's like a Camp Half-Blood little mini stories book that goes along with the other mini books in that entire book series. Then I have The Trials of Apollo Book 2, The Dark Prophecy. And I have the Books A Million edition of Lord of Shadows. Just because those are in my shopping cart doesn't mean I'm going to buy them next. I could buy a multitude of other books because I mostly shop on the book outlet, and on that site you just buy the books as they come out. So really I don't know, but those are the 5 books that I plan to buy at the moment. Question 9, favorite quotes. I have a multitude of favorite quotes. I actually wrote them all down. I'm going to start with J.K. Rowling. I have 2 quotes that I love from her books more than any other. The first one is from The Prisoner of Azkaban, and it's, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the lights. And I think that quote goes really well with the family situation I'm going through at the moment. It's a very dark time for me and my mom, and we are really grasping at any bit of light that life is giving us at this point. And really, we're just hoping and praying that things get better. The second quote is from The Order of the Phoenix, and it's, indifference and neglect often do much more damage than outright dislike. That's a quote that really stuck out to me when I read the books in high school, and for me it's probably one of her most memorable quotes from her books. Then I have a quote from one of my favorite mangas, Haikyuu. I'm not sure which volume it was in though, and it's, because people don't have wings, we look for ways to fly. And that's one of those quotes that is just very true to everyday life. Then I have 2 quotes from The Death Cure by James Dashner. The first one is, with his heart falling into a black abyss, Thomas pulled the trigger. And I just love the imagery of his heart falling into a black abyss. And given the situation he was in, it was very believable, and it wasn't out of context like some quotes that try to be that deep are. And I just really, really love that moment in the book, even though it was also my least favorite moment in the book. Second quote is, sometimes they do things to make me do the opposite of what they think they think I'm going to do. And that quote just confused the hell out of me the first time I read it, and I had to read it like 2 or 3 times to actually get it. And I was like, oh my god, really? So it's just another very memorable quote that I absolutely love. And then I have 2 more quotes, both by Rick Riordan. They're both from his first book, The Lightning Thief. If my life is going to mean anything, I have to live it myself. And I am trying to live up to this quote because I've lived a very sheltered life, and I want to expand my knowledge of the world, broaden my horizons. I want to get out and actually live. So I'm trying to live up to that quote. And the second quote is, the real world is where the monsters are. And that quote is just really too truthful. And that is all of my favorite quotes. Y'all are probably thinking, thank God. But I have about 1,000 quotes that I liked on Goodreads, and I went through all of them and I just picked the ones that speak the most to me. And I couldn't just pick 1 or 2. I wanted to share them all. Question 10, who are your favorite authors? I have so many favorite authors, but I'll narrow them down to like the top 5. First and foremost, J.K. Rowling. I haven't really read any of her other books except for the Harry Potter related ones, but yeah, I got nothing. She's one of my favorite authors. My second favorite author is Rick Riordan. I absolutely love the Percy Jackson series and the Heroes of Olympus series and the Magnus Chase series and the Trails of Apollo series, and Yeah, I haven't read the other series, the Kane Chronicles. I haven't read that yet, but I plan to. But I love all of his series. My third favorite author is Cassandra Clare. I became obsessed with her books when I decided to binge read them right before the show Shadowhunters came out. My fourth favorite author may come as a shock to all of you, but it is James Dashner. I absolutely love the Maze Runner series, and that's the only series of his I actually read, but I do have the I Mine series that I plan on reading really, really soon. If I become obsessed with a book series, I have to add that author to my favorite authors list. So I became like obsessed with that series for like a full month. So James Dashner is definitely one of my top 5 favorite authors. And I think my 5th favorite author is Jennifer L. Armentrout. I've only read 5 of her books. It's been probably about a year since I read my last Jennifer L. Armentrout book, and I can remember everything that happened and how traumatized I was when I read her Lux series. And yeah, being able to remember a book series like so far after I've read it and still feel slightly traumatized by it, she has to be one of my favorite authors. Those are just my favorite YA authors. I do have a couple of adult authors that I love, like Kristen Feehan and Lindsay Sands and L.L. Foster. If you care about my favorite adult authors, those are my top 3. Question 11. Are you part of any Goodreads groups? Yes, quite a few, like 10. Most of them are like book clubs and readathons and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into them because this video is going to be too long already. Question 12. What could Goodreads do better? And the only thing I think I would actually change is the star rating system. I would like to be able to do half stars, because sometimes I feel like a book doesn't deserve 4 stars, but doesn't deserve 3 stars either, so I like to give it like a 3.5 stars. Well, that was the Goodreads tag. I am so sorry that it turned out as long as it did, because I've been filming for like almost 30 minutes. I'm pretty sure this video is going to be hecka long, so I apologize. You guys should let me know in the comments below what your favorite quote is, and if you guys are doing a 2017 Goodreads reading challenge, tell me how many books you plan on reading this year and how many you've read so far. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!